Hey folks, just lately I've been getting a lot of questions about individualized substances and their health benefits, their specific health benefits. For example, turmeric. People have been asking me, why don't I recommend turmeric more because it's so anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer? And goji berries, these non-hybridized, freakishly healthy berries revered by these small communities around the world that seem to live forever. Avocados. There's nothing that beats an avocado in terms of what it's got inside of it. Brazil nuts, one of the only forms of vegan selenium, apparently. Why don't I promote these things more? You know, what I've learned over time is it's more about what you're adding these things to, what you're adding these superfoods to. Superfoods are like condiments. You're adding them to something. Like, you're not going to get your whole daily caloric intake from superfoods. So what are you adding the superfoods to? Like, what's your staple? So I've gotten into deep conversations with people in the past about the properties of certain superfoods. And then I found out that, you know, their diet is still high in processed foods, fatty foods, maybe salt, or they're still eating animal products. No matter how amazing these superfoods are, they're never going to neutralize the damage or stress caused by a diet that's generally poor. Think about the original Hippocratic Oath. We are what we eat. Let medicine be thy food and food be thy medicine. That's not talking about one or two foods here and there with medicinal purposes. That's talking about the food that we're eating all day long, every day, all year to keep us healthy. It's the majority of the foods that we eat. So we've got to think about calories here. We've got to think about, judge your diet based on where the majority of your calories are coming from. If in doubt, use a tracker, use a food tracker like Chronometer or Fitbit or something like that to track your calories, track your food. You don't have to do it for very long, but just temporarily to see exactly where your calories are coming from, whether they're from fat, protein or carbs. Right now you might think you're eating an overall healthy diet, but you've never really sat down and assessed where the calories are coming from, and you're not aware that maybe 40% of your diet could be coming from fat, but you don't know that because you've not actually sat down and worked it out. You've not used the tool to help you, of which there are a few. So have a look, have a deeper look. 80-10-10. 80-10-10 is still the ratio I promote for optimal wellness, optimal energy, optimal healing. 80-10-10, that can be raw, that can be cooked. But that's the ratio. That's like the nirvana ratio for healing. I know Doug Graham came up with a term, but there's many other doctors out there that have promoted the whole foods, low-fat, plant-based diet, which is ultimately 80-10-10. If all you're eating is whole plant-based foods, you don't even need to think about that ratio because you will ultimately be hitting 80-10-10. Just go easy on the overt fats. So the only things you need to avoid, pretty much avocado, coconut, and durian. So I don't have anything against superfoods. I think they're great in their own right. But it is ironic when I see people going out of their way after reading a helpful, article in a magazine or watching an inspirational video about goji berries or chia seeds, and they buy and consume those things, yet at the same time they're still eating cheese or chicken or some other kind of high fatty foods, which are just not going to be neutralized by the inclusion of these superfoods. Let your staple foods be the bananas, the rice, the dates, the potatoes. These high-carb, low-fat foods, let these be your staples. Don't worry too much about the apple a day, It's these other foods that make you well. Think about cancer. Think about the alkaline environment. How does it go? No disease can exist in an alkaline environment, including cancer. And it's not the superfoods that's creating that alkalinity, it's everything else that you're eating. Calories, the overall net result of your calories, this is what creates alkalinity, not one or two superfoods that you're eating, that you're consuming medicinally on a daily basis.